Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the high rock for a clan meeting.
Miouooo, I'm Simon.
And I'm Evelyn.
And I'm Estrella.
And today we're going to be discussing Tallstar's Revenge, Chapter 2, 3, and 4. Maybe.
Don't forget our spoiler policy is...
Spoilers are fun.
And welcome back, Estrella. You're here again.
Yeah. Hello.
Back by popular demand.
Oh.
Popular demand being of us, the other podcasters.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Did get 10 plays our last episode, so...
Oh, one of them was me, though.
Oh. Did you listen to it, Estrella?
I did not. I can't stand to listen to my own voice.
Yeah, understandable. I listened to it only because I had to for editing.
Yeah, I finally got caught up with listening to the podcast.
It's so funny it took you so long considering we release, barely ever.
Yeah.
I mean, fairly frequently I'm, getting caught up to podcasts that I started when they have, 200 episodes.
Oh, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of cast. So, are we going to talk about this fandom news item that I provided?
Yeah.
Have any of us read it?
I have.
Oh,
I
no.
read part of it.
I don't think we all need to read it. That's okay. So, how many of us know about the spotted leaf, or the spotted leaf situation and the spotted leaf's heart situation? Is that what it's called? Spotted leaf heart?
Yeah, I did not know anything about this novella until reading this. I knew, obviously of Spotted Leaf from reading the first arc, but I did not know about this.
Yeah, I know I read Pine Star's book in that group, but I don't think I read Spotted Leaf's book.
Oh. Yeah, I definitely have not read Spotted Leaf's Heart. I have heard about this issue just in the fandom here and there. Never really in depth, though. So what this is a Reddit post in Hobby Drama, which actually, ever since I subscribed to that subreddit, I've found, I've seen several posts about warrior cats, which is very interesting. But it's called The Time HarperCollins published Baby's first romance novella about grooming for ages 8 and up, The Ballad of Spotted Leaf's Heart. And it goes in depth into why Spotted Leaf's Heart is such a controversial and really bad and dangerous story. Yeah, it's about child grooming and abuse, which is apparently just what happens in the story. And it's one it's fine to portray stuff like that in books, but obviously you have to do it right when it's meant for children ages 8 to 12, and they didn't do that.
Right.
This post also frames definitely Victoria Holmes leaving being about this specific novella, and I wonder how true that is.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that part. I had no idea. I guess I knew Victoria Holmes had stepped back, but I wasn't totally sure, and I didn't know why and didn't know when. So that was really interesting.
But yeah, reading these different little excerpts this is horrible.
It really is alarming and shocking. It's pretty classic portrayal of grooming and abuse. Starting when she's a kid by Thistleclaw. And then any one of us reading that, we can easily tell what the issues are and the red flags, from the jump. But if you're gonna write this in a Warriors book, you've got to be really explicit about what to do in that situation if you find yourself in it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe we want to look more into the Vicky Holmes situation and like see what really happened there. It's interesting. Like I'm remembering the Gillian Phillips situation.
Was
And
that
like,
the turf one?
yeah, that was the turf one, and like
Okay.
people in charge dealt with that immediately, and they just like fired her. But in this situation, like they didn't really do anything. I mean, maybe like I don't know what the stepping down situation was, but then like they printed it physically like after all the uproar. So it's interesting, like to see such a swift response on one hand, and then just like not at all addressing it on the other hand.
Yeah, I mean, like the novellas, they so easily could have just deleted that one off the website and just written another one and put that in the book.
Yeah, I mean they write stories all the time. There's so many errands. Yeah, and honestly, like I kind of feel like this is a lot worse because it's not like Gillian Phillip was writing transphobic stuff into Bravelands, as far as I know.
Okay, the screenshot is somewhat loaded of of her retirement announcement from her Facebook page. It's very long. But she talks about Suzanne, who I forgot was a thing.
Oh yeah,
Um, as far as Spotted Leaf's heart is concerned, there's nothing I can say that will make everybody happy. Just bear in mind that I read your criticism and I do listen, and I am also human and capable of being hurt. I'm not asking anyone to feel sorry for me. Goodness knows I'm not the best writer in the world, and with every book I write, I strive to improve and learn more about this craft.
hmm. Well, that's not great. Is that supposed to be an apology?
It's
Because like there
not
isn't
really.
actually one there. Yeah.
Well, it starts with raises head above ruined parapet, adjusts hard hat. Is it safe for me to come out now? Wow, in my head, I've written 10,000 words to all of you, justifying and explaining and apologizing and trying to find some perspective. But I don't think that's healthy for any of us, so I'll keep this brief. She very much did not do that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But most of it is talking about the Suzanne situation with her like being a pseudo editor.
Yeah.
That's the only real apology in this, is for that situation.
Yeah, I mean, when I read this and then knowing that she had stepped down later, like it definitely seems like they're very related.
Yeah, it seems like part of it. Was the Suzanne? I imagine that means the Suzanne thing happened at like the same time
Yeah, I
ish.
honestly have no
On the
idea.
same post. So that also might be part of it, of just like they both happened at the same time, and they were like, okay, it's time to get out of here.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on this?
No, it's just pretty bad and shocking. Like they lay out everything in the article, like all the different like what grooming usually looks like, and they have like examples from the book of each stage in this.
Yeah.
And it's like really bad.
Yeah, it's a really thorough post.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we'll link it. Maybe we'll discuss this topic more in a future episode.
Moving on, a Warriors quote of the week.
So I actually I just read this one a couple days ago, actually. Here it is. The small monster's paws squealed on the stone as the two-leg inside stared in horror at Violet Paw. The monster let out a wail, as though warning her to move. It swerved suddenly, the two-leg's eyes bulging as it dived in front of the green monster, veering so close that its flank caught the green monster's nose. Violet Paw stared, as though watching a nightmare from a long way away. Hypnotized, she heard the thump of their thick hides collide. The small monster the small monster spun out across the thunder path and came to a juddering halt on the far side. From Darkest Night, Chapter 6.
Somebody just got hit by a car.
I think it was a car crash.
Yeah, there was a small monster and a green monster.
Okay.
Violet just saw a car crash.
He just caused a car crash. She was crossing the thunder path and then froze while the monster was barreling down.
So they had to swerve.
I mean, at least it seems like they tried to swerve away from the cat in the road, which is not usually the case.
Yeah, a lot of times just they deliberately try to hit the cat. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting to actually see a car crash. I don't recall any other car crashes depicted in Warriors.
Yeah, not that I can think of.
No.
And timely, considering I was just in 2 car crashes, too. I also love the thump of their thick hides colliding.
Their thick hides.
Yeah.
That's a really long quote.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like a quote that somebody said, it's just a passage from the book, but
it's notable.
It's pretty notable, yeah. Are we ready to just go into the chapters?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm supposed to read the summary for chapter 2. After running back to his mommy, Tallkit gets cleaned up, and there is a conversation about Finchkit. Then Sandgorse insists on more training and tries to make Tallkit move rocks. Soon he's saved by the bell of a clan meeting being called. 3 new apprentices are named, and they all get more runners as mentors. The outrage and surprise of the tunnelers.
Yeah, it's nice to have summaries.
Great summary, wow. So I've opened up the Cliff Notes, and the Cliff Notes for this chapter is really long.
Right. Why is it so long?
Why? Not much happens.
If we read this, there'll be nothing to discuss. Huh.
Yeah, they just got really detailed.
Okay.
Well, let's read it.
Sandgorse runs after Tallkit and tries to console him. Palebird tells Tallkit's father to leave the kid alone, that he got scared.
Tallkit asks where the other queens are. Palebird explains that Miss Mouse was hunting because her kids don't need her anymore, and that Brackenwing was getting prey. Brackenwing comes in. Why does that need a whole bullet?
Did we really need that? Tallkit asks his mother if she misses being underground. Palebird explains she won't be going back to her duties for a while, especially after Finchkit's death. This leads Tallkit to ask about Finchkit. He is told to be quiet by Brackenwing, but continues anyway.
Sandgorse comes back and Tallkit decides to go with him again. He tries to teach Tallkit how to move rocks. Tallkit hears Shrewkit and Barkit playing nearby, but ignores them. Flailfoot comes out of the Elder's Den and says Tallkit is too young to be moving rocks. Tallkit almost moves the rock, but fails at the last second, causing Shrewkit to call him Wormkit.
I mean, Shrewkit will call him Wormkit at any given opportunity.
Yeah.
Heather Stark calls a clan meeting. Tallkit sees Aspenfall, Cloudrunner, Redclaw, Whiskey, Billy Whisker, and Whiteberry. He makes note of which ones are tunnelers and more runners. Barkkit asks Tallkit if he's watching the meeting. Tallkit says they aren't old enough, but the other kid asks him who would know or care if they watched. That's a great point. Rykit, Stagkit, and Dokit are men into Rypaw, Stagpaw, and Dopaw. Rypaw's mentor is Larksplash, Stagpaw's mentor is Cloudrunner, Dopaw's mentor is Aspenfall. All the mentors are more runners. Why did we need everybody's name?
So I think you continue. That's just... There are 5 levels of bullets and sub-bullets for this one item.
You get to read all of that.
Sure. Plunclaw comes in and is surprised to learn that none of the new apprentices are going to be tunnelers. Miss Mouse and Hairflight reveal that they want their kids to be more runners, like Hairflight, and that tunneling is dangerous work. They were not in the list of the cats who were at the mating. I don't think. Hairflight was not there.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Hickory Nose complains they need more tunneling apprentices. Sandgorse says at least they'll have Tallkit soon. This makes Tallkit nervous, and Shruka calls him Wormkit yet again. Heather Star steps in and tells the tunnelers to respect Miss Mouse and Lark Splash's wishes. She mentions Leapshine, who died in the same cave-in that crippled Lily Whisker. The tunnelers are still outraged at not getting any new apprentices.
Oh my god. Whoever contributed to this article
Read the chapter
really
at this
needs
point.
to do some editing. Yeah. And the fact that there's a bullet point, sub-bullet points, and sub-bullet points of those, and sub-bullet points of those, and then a sub-bullet point of one of those bullet points. Too much. Okay. Tallkit worries that he'll have to keep the skill of tunneling alive all by himself, but Bartkit reassures him. Tallkit thinks about how he wants to be a more runner, not a tunneler.
Well, that basically sums up the entire chapter.
That's it.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about?
I don't know. I actually made notes for this like a week ago or something for this chapter. But I definitely have some in here.
You made a lot of notes.
Yeah. Did the two of you make notes?
I made a few notes, not in the document, because my computer is having problems.
Yeah.
I made a few notes, but only like 2 or something.
Okay. Well, the first one I had was when Tallkit is like running to his mother. It says, "I fell in and got soil in my eyes. He screwed them up as Tailward began to lap at them gently." Now I've wondered, like, is she laughing at his eyes?
Yep.
Yes.
And yeah, it turns out she's laughing at his eyes.
Sandgorse is not a very good. Not like. Sandgorse is bad
He's
here.
bad pretty much everywhere.
Oh yeah, he's awful.
Tallkit has just run away to his mother. He's really scared. He's probably really cold. He just fell in this hole. He's like 2 days old. He's like 14 days old.
He just got his eyes laughed at. Yeah.
And Sandgorse comes back.
Yeah, he's like, you can't give up yet.
Why not? He's not even close
Like-
to being an apprentice yet. He shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, like, didn't some of the other cats or like elders or something say like they didn't move the first rock until they were an apprentice?
Yeah, I think that happens a bit later. Just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's really unnecessary at this point. A little kid like that should just be like just growing up playing. Don't need to go to work.
Yeah, why can't you have time to just be a kid?
Tailbird said that she misses being underground in the tunnels. But that's surprising to Tallkit. Because who'd want to spend the day in the dark?
Yeah, I would much rather be outside.
Tunneling does sound pretty awful. Maybe it's just because, like, obviously Tallkit thinks it's bad. But I'm trying to think, like, if I was younger, if I'd think tunneling was cool. Because, like, oh, you know, like, digging a hole, going a hole is, like, really cool. It's like a cave. And you can just make it. But the way it's described is really scary, dark, bad. You can't, yeah.
Yeah, you can't see anything, and all you're doing is this like labor, and yeah, it's scary and dangerous.
Yes.
Like, I would definitely not be more comforted by being in there.
And then you're just gonna be relentlessly bullied the whole time you're in the camp because they hate you.
Yeah. I love, so then when they start talking about Finchkit, Tallkit says something really insensitive. Why did Finchkit die? Did you kit her wrong? It's so awful.
It is, but like at least like he's really little. But then Brackenwing
Yeah.
like tells him to be quiet, and then immediately after says something insensitive, which makes no sense. We're just like, I don't know why you gave Finchkit a name. Brackenwing muttered, like, just let the poor cat grieve her dead child. Leave her alone.
For real.
Yeah.
It's so bad that she
It's
named
pretty
her.
normal to give your kids names, like, right away. StarClan would have named her, but, like, she wouldn't know the name that StarClan chose.
Yeah,
Probably.
like, is it really so bad?
So we get this first thing where Talkit starts like trying to act a certain way to please his mother, which happens throughout the book. So he sees that talking about Finchkit didn't seem to be cheering her up. So he tries to distract her by saying, "I've got sand in my ears." And it seems to work. Like Palebird starts washing his ear fur, and they stop talking about Finchkit.
Yeah, that is a really big theme, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sandcourse pops in and is like, have you calmed him down yet? The sooner he starts dating again, the better. It's like, it's been 5 minutes.
I hate
Like, why don't you wait
Sandcourse.
5 months?
He's
Yeah, I'm
bored.
glad he died, to be honest. I talked about this in my Goodreads review of the book, but I feel like there's a big, like, gay allegory of, like, Tall Kit's parents wanting him to be something that he's not.
Yeah, I
For
was
certain.
thinking about that in these chapters.
Yeah.
Just like the way that he describes like when he thinks about tunneling, he like shudders, like, ugh, how terrible. You know, it's just not for him.
It's really not. Yeah.
The sooner he starts digging again, the better, though. Come on.
Yeah. Apparently, tunnelers have to learn to move rocks much heavier than themselves.
Yeah, which is like, how big are these rocks that these cats are supposedly moving?
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
must be like 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Like, I don't even know if they can do that. They can't barely drag a rabbit.
I feel like they'd be able, like, proportional to humans. I feel like cats would be worse at moving heavy things because they don't have hands and stuff.
Yeah, like animals are usually stronger than humans, but cats can't like you can't like grab a rock. Like how would you move it? You can't pick it up.
Yeah, I guess you can just use your body. I mean, maybe you can push with your paws. I don't know.
It would be so hard. And like, are they working together to move the rocks?
I would hope so.
But I mean,
Yeah, like imagine moving a big rock like all the way out of a tunnel. It's like just in the middle of the tunnel. That seems
Yeah.
a lot.
They probably keep the rock in the tunnel and like dig out the side a little and push it into the side.
Yeah.
So Polkit is supposed to move these rocks. They were as big as sparrows. So Talkit is 2 weeks old. He is the same size as a sparrow. And he is supposed to
Yeah.
move a rock as big as himself.
How are you going to move at any significant distance?
Oh, here it is. It's Flailfoot that says that he didn't move his first stone.
Yeah. I did make a note. Like, obviously that's way older than Talkit is now. But maybe with Flailfoot, it was just because he has his limbs flailing everywhere. And, like, it's harder to move rocks when your limbs are flailing.
Maybe he tried to move his first stone earlier, but he couldn't do it till he was an apprentice.
His father also forced him to move stones.
Yeah.
That is so boring. It's not even a game. Like he's not even making a game out of it. not making it fun.
Yeah, and it's not even for for the good of the clan. You're just inventing stuff. You're inventing busy work for no reason.
And Tallkit wants to make Sangors proud, even though Sangors is so bad. So he tries his hardest to move the rock.
So then a clan meeting is called. And, I mean, obviously, the words that are said to call clan meeting we've heard a lot. But I just thought this time, why do they always say let all cats old enough to catch prey? Like, why does it matter that they're a certain
Yeah, I
age?
had
Why
never
wouldn't
thought
kids
of
be allowed?
Yeah. And kits go anyway.
And then kids, yeah, like it doesn't even. It's not like they're forbidden.
But then the chapter breakdown from the Warriors bookie did specifically mention it in the long thing that I read somewhere.
Oh, I don't even remember that. It was so long.
Bartkit asks Tallkit if he's watching the meeting. Tallkit says they aren't old enough, but the other asks him who would care if they watched. We're just like, I don't remember that ever
Right.
being a thing.
Guess it's just what they say. Maybe it means. I guess actually, it never really does prohibit others, because she's just saying everybody's old enough to catch prey is required to come here. Really, I guess that's how I'm gonna read it.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
So attendance is optional for cats who can't catch prey, who are old enough to catch prey. And then as they all go there, Flamflet's like, try starting with a smaller stone, he suggested. Yeah, I think so.
Good advice.
I mean, at that point, though, what are you even really accomplishing too if it's a small? It's just like kicking a pebble across the camp while they're having a meeting.
It's not really something you need to train. So I guess people are talking about, now that they figured out it's their apprentice ceremony for the 3 kids, they're like talking about who's gonna get what and like what role they're gonna be. Talking about how like Hairflight's a more runner, so like assuming that our kids would all be more runners. Is there really a tradition of like it being hereditary? I don't know.
I am
I
getting
mean,
that
I think
impression.
that's why. Yeah, like Tallkit's so expected to become a tunneler is just because both of his parents are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is not like an official rule, but if both your parents are one thing, then presumably you're going to have those genes that make it easier for you to do one thing or another, which
Yeah,
doesn't seem super realistic,
Like
actually.
having nice wide paws.
Yeah. Or like how everybody in Sky Clan is good at jumping.
yeah, that was what I was thinking too. Just
Yeah.
jump up into a tree.
Well, I didn't really make too many notes here, but they're all chosen to be more runners. Very controversial.
Yeah. We got some more True Kit being mean.
Yeah, that's just like the same as it always is, though, I think.
And yeah. Cloud
think
Runner.
that sort of confuses me is that like don't the mentors doesn't the clan leader talk to the mentors first and is like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna give you an apprentice in 5 minutes. But Woollytail is also surprised.
Yeah, I feel like I remember times when that does happen and times when that doesn't. Yeah.
I guess it's up to the leader.
Yeah, I guess.
It'd be kind of weird to just be given an apprentice with no warning.
Very much.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a kit, you don't know who you're gonna get.
Yeah. I guess that's just like part of the ritual.
Okay, so yeah, they're all of them are training as more runners, even though their mother is a tunneler.
Uh-huh.
And
like some tunnelers come back, they missed the ceremony, and they're pretty outraged.
yeah.
Which like I don't agree with the tunneling. It's very stupid. Why are they doing it? But I also like I do get it that they would be angry.
Yeah.
Because it's just sort of like an unofficial getting rid of the tunneling system without actually saying that you are. It's like also potentially like ruling out some cats as deputy. That was the thing that I thought of like if any of the tunnelers haven't had an apprentice yet, they can't become the leader ever just because they're tunnelers and they're doing away with that.
That's a really good point.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it's like ruin it, like they can't be in positions of power anymore.
Wow. Corruption.
Very much.
So apparently, Mist Mouse, who is a tunneler, and Hairflight decided that they want their kids to all be more runners, which I guess they can just decide.
Yeah, I was also like, I don't know about that. You don't usually get to pick who mentors your kids.
I mean, you can always ask the leader, but they're really making it sound like they decided it.
Yeah, and it's like, would she have agreed if they had said that they should both be tunnelers? Would she have let them do that? Or all three of them? If they were
I
like,
can't imagine all three, yeah.
it's important that they're tunnelers. It's a very biased situation.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of Heather Starr's leadership here? Like, she's clearly taking actions to get rid of the tunnelers, get rid of the tunnels, and yet she's still being really understanding with them.
I mean, I don't think she really is. I think she's saying things that are sympathetic towards them, but then like not keeping true to her word.
Yeah, that's the kind of...
Like her actions don't reflect that. So I feel like it's just creating a lot of animosity between the leadership and the tunnelers. So I feel like that's like actually her biggest failing as a leader, even though by and large she's a good leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, she should be closing the tunnel system down. As we'll find out later in the book, it shouldn't exist anymore.
But yeah, the way it's happening now, just
I also feel like the deputy should be a tunneler. I don't know who the deputy is. Maybe they are a tunneler. I don't remember. But I feel like
think
that would
they are. I have no idea who it is.
help
Like,
if that was
Reed
like
Yeah.
a consistent thing.
Reed Feather, maybe.
Yeah,
You did read the book most recently out of all of us.
oh, yeah, I think Reed Feather is a more runner. Here we get a mention of Appledon's pale cream pelt Rosie in the low sunshine.
Delicious.
Yeah, yummy.
So hair flight, I just have this thing about like these cats being named after their prey, and they're supposed to be like respectful to their prey and like praise StarClan for it. But throughout this entire book, there's a lot of like prey being used as an insult, like rabbit brain, rabbit heart, And it seems like almost like they're naming these cats after prey to be a good thing, like hair flight. But then they keep like using prey to insult people.
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be grateful for the dead animal. But when it's alive, it's stupid and
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, kind of reminds. It's like an abortion analogy, kind of, with how like conservatives care about the unborn children, but don't actually care when they become born.
yeah.
That's when they stop caring. Did we talk about chapter 2 enough?
I was just gonna say something else. What was it? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was Heather Starr. Apparently, did just like what did she say? She said something about the parents like request for them to be tunnelers or for them to be more runners. I don't remember what that was now. And she did also say like we value your skills and we want to help you keep them alive through future moons to the tunnelers, and like that's not true. She doesn't really value them that much, and she doesn't end up keeping them alive. It's like
Yeah,
don't get their hopes
she
up.
ends it. She causes them to stop.
And it's like, how long has this division existed in the clan? Like, was it from the start? Like, we've never seen any kids eager to be tunnelers. How has this sustained so long? Terrible for the clan culture.
It really is like a class divide.
Well, yeah, that is all I had to say about this chapter now.
Okay. Chapter 3. The kits are playing, and Shrew-Kit and Tall-Kit have an argument. Back in camp, they listen to an elder's tunnel story. Everything is very tunnelers versus more runners.
Indeed. Okay, we can read the cliff notes. Tall-Kit and Bark-Kit are playing a game in the snow. Shrew-Kit tries to tease Tall-Kit by calling him Worm-Kit. The two kits get into an argument about whether or not tunneling is honorable. Shrew-Kit insists it is not. Tall-Kit insists it is.
Tall-Kit storms away angrily and gets a gorse thorn stuck in his paw. Bark-Kit pulls it out.
Kit reveals that he wants to be a medicine cat. Tall-Kit is impressed by his friend's courage and saddened by not being able to train alongside him.
Bark-Kit goes to ask Heatherstar about being apprenticed to Hogheart, while Tall-Kit goes to the Elder's Den.
Flameheart, Whiteberry, and Lily Whisker describe the kinds of skills tunnelers have to Rypaw and Dopaw. Flameheart goes on to tell a story about the time he chased a rabbit into ShadowClan's territory, then had to block it off. It doesn't mention how he was chasing the rabbit in a tunnel. It just says into ShadowClan's territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. The elders lament about how tunneling is slowly dying off and how the clan is letting the tunnels fall into ruin. Tall-Kit worries about having to carry the skill of tunneling all by himself.
The elders and apprentices start to argue about whether tunneling is truly needed. This makes Tall-Kit question how Wind Clan has stayed together for so long, when more runners and tunnelers disagree so strongly.
Yeah,
That's what
good
I'm
point.
saying.
Yep.
Tall-Kit's very smart.
Yeah, he'd make a great leader one day. Tall-Kit says, "I know you're in there, mouse. I'm going to pull your tail." To Bark-Kit when they're playing.
They're playing, so he's not underground. Bark-Kit is in some gorse, I guess.
Yeah. And his tail is out, I guess. Yeah, just like you were saying about like using prey as an insult. There it is.
Come out and face me, Rabbit Heart.
And Buzzard Face. Yeah.
Well, we established last time that they just let the buzzards eat their children.
Yeah.
So they're not quite prey.
Yeah.
Wait, but then it says going tunneling, Wormkit. So are they playing in the gorse or like in a tunnel?
They're definitely not in a tunnel. I mean, they're in camp. I think because he's like tunneling through the gorse, under the gorse.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But Shrew-Kit is so annoying. Constantly calling him Wormkit. He's like, I'm too old for Kit's games.
Why does nobody ever really stand up for Tall-Kit? People are just like, just don't listen to him, Tall-Kit, but nobody ever like just tells Shrew-Kit to shut up.
Yeah.
Right, and like
On Tall-Kit to forget that he's being bullied.
Yeah.
yeah, and there's no reason why any of the adult cats should feel scared to say something.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like Kit's parents or like the leader of the clan.
They just like see it and do nothing. Like Bark-Kit, he's not telling Shrew-Kit to stop, but at least he's like doing something. And he's just a kit.
Yeah, why is it that a kit is the only one who like really even tries to do anything?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we have established that Tallkit's parents aren't the best.
Yeah.
We've got Halbert, who's going through some serious depression.
Yeah. Sangor's who's like,
Who just cares about tunnels.
yeah. So they're getting into this whole tunnelers versus moorrunners thing again. And Talkit says Sangor's is helping to build a tunnel right down to the bottom of the gorge. No rabbit could do that. No rabbit would even think of it. And for good reason, I say.
No rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, why do they need a tunnel at the bottom of the gorge? Why? What are they going to use it
Yeah.
for?
It really does seem useless.
I don't think I have anything else to say about this whole tunnelers argument.
It goes on for a long time.
I do want to point out, it says a point that Talkit has is that tunnelers can fight underground, but who are they fighting? They're secret tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they fighting down there? Nobody. They're secret.
Yeah.
Right. And if they were fighting other clans down there, then like a whole point about the tunnels that they are secret, then they wouldn't even be secret.
Yeah.
And like part of it is like, oh, we can like sneak onto other clans' territory easier. If the other clan finds out about it, they can also sneak onto your land easier.
Yeah. Like the gorge tunnel is gonna just be obscured by some brambles. Like they could easily be found.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance River Clan's not going to find that.
Also, one of those clans knows how to swim across the river, and one of them doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just actually like opening up a pathway right into their territory. Especially because there's no reason why River Clan would be worse at the tunnels than like the majority of Wind Clan is. Because most Wind Clan cats don't even like know how to do stuff in there.
Right. And we see stuff like this in, I guess, the third or fourth arc when there's tunnels at the lake territory, and like another like the clans are always going in there and getting in fights and stuff.
Yeah, it's not really an advantage for either clan. It's just another strategy that you can use.
Yeah.
Okay. So next there's the thorn in the paw incident. And Barkkit says, lick your paw really hard, that'll stop it from going bad. Which I just think is kind of a weird way to say it, because it makes it sound like food.
Going bad.
Yeah. A rotten vegetable.
Yeah. So this is some pretty strong foreshadowing for when Barkkit becomes a medicine cat apprentice.
Yeah, I knew right away. And even if I hadn't known that Barkkit was named Barkkit, then I still would know that he was going to become the medicine cat.
Especially because it says so like half a page later.
That's true.
It's also funny to me that Shurikid is also upset about this. Just forgets that medicine cats are a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that that's just useful knowledge, even if you are like if you're in battle. It's useful if the warriors have some basic first aid.
Someone needs to do that.
Yeah, like they should all know how to do stuff like that.
It was kind of funny back when Barkkit was telling Talkit to lick his paw, and Talkit's like, "How did you know what to do?" And Barkkit said, "It was obvious," which is true. It was pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Like licking your wounds is kind of
Take out the thorn.
A phrase for a reason.
I'm not surprised that he got a thorn in his paw from playing in the gorse, though, because gorse is really thorny.
Yeah. I didn't have any other notes until we're hearing the Elder story.
Yeah, neither do I.
Flame Pelt is like, you think it's easy to run full pelt in stone black darkness? Which, Dopaw's eyes widen at that. I don't know, like stone black? And I think it's also described somewhere else, like, as dark as the inside of a stone.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. It's just pretty funny.
So I guess it is really darkened tunnels, and how would you know where the tunnel's gonna go if you're running really fast? Like, that's a really good point.
Yeah. And I guess they do just get really good at, like they describe, using your other senses. And just like become really attuned to the noises and how things feel. They could really use that like luminescent moss from this like sky cannon place. Remember that?
I forget.
Oh yeah.
In like the Sky Clan Gorge Medicine Cat area.
Oh,
Like low moss. Or lichen.
okay.
I don't know what it
Okay.
is. So, what do you all think? Was the rabbit Shadow Clan's rabbit or Wind Clan's rabbit?
It was Shadow Clan's rabbit.
I don't know. I don't really care whose rabbit it was.
I don't care either. But yeah, it was Shadow Clan's, I think.
And Pal said tunnels belong to Wind Clan.
Yeah, but not when it's in
Yeah.
another clan's territory.
It's like the air above all the rest of the clans would belong to Sky Clan.
Yeah, like the trees
Yeah.
that just jump from tree to tree.
As long as they don't touch the ground.
Yeah. And this isn't like there's a tunnel that's the entrance is in Wind Clan, and then it goes really deep down, and it's technically under Shadow Clan territory. Like, it sounds like there might be there's an opening in Shadow Clan territory, and it's very close to the surface because the cats are running up above, and the earth showers down around him.
It sounds really dangerous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another thing, the Shadow Clan cats yell rabbit rabbit. Why? It's just gonna get scared. That's never the way you catch a rabbit is by yelling at it.
Rabbit!
It's not gonna help.
Yeah.
Like, why do they do that? It's also not like
Yeah.
they need a whole team to catch a rabbit. Like nobody else needs to know about it but you. If you see it, go get it.
Yeah. I like that Flamepelt also thinks that if the Shadow Clan cats mistook him for a rabbit, they might start digging. Like they would dig down into the dirt in order to dig up a live rabbit.
The rabbit, it would be gone before the cats could get there. The same way that if they started yelling at it, it would be gone.
Well, rabbits are like roots, they just stay in place underground.
Yeah. And then he's like, I had to think fast. If they found the opening and chased the rabbit back down, they'd find me and discover the tunnel. She's like, if you're really worried about that happening, how has it not happened before?
Yeah, can't they smell him? Like, if they are chasing rabbits into tunnels, wouldn't they, and Wind Clan's getting that close to the entrances, wouldn't they smell Wind Clan down there?
I have no idea how they don't know about this.
It does say in just a little bit something about Earth scent hid my smell or something like that. But like, it wouldn't though. They still like smell the rabbits. Like, they smell like old rabbits' dens and know that rabbits used to live there. Just like, if Wind Clan is regularly hanging out in these tunnels, it's gonna start to smell like them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, especially because like nothing else is down there. Yeah.
So Flamepelt's plan when he's in this situation is to cause a cave-in so that he can run away and not be found. And Raipaw is being a really good listener and says, no, Raipaw's mew was barely a whisper. And I just wanted to point out that last time when we were talking about Raipaw's name, we were talking about like rye and barley. So I'd rather say no, Raipaw's mew was barely a whisper. That's all.
Yeah. That would have been a great typo.
Anyway, that's not really related to the story. But it was important to me.
So yeah, he does it. He like ruins the tunnel forever.
Which
Was it
it
worth
was
it?
way too easy for him to ruin the tunnel. Like, all he did was claw at it for like 30 seconds. And it just collapsed.
Yeah. How
Mhm.
how does it stay up? He can just do that.
But yeah, through the wall of the soil, he can hear the rabbit get caught. Like, how do they not
Yeah.
know that he's there?
Right.
So these old tunneler elders are kind of reminiscing, like, kind of how I imagine, like, old veterans, like, talking about war or something. Like, it's like really fond
Yep.
memories, but of all these things that are actually really dangerous and scary.
Yeah, and they absolutely should not want for their children.
So Rypa says that there are plenty of rabbits these days. Now our territory covers the whole moor, etc. So was there a time when their territory didn't cover the whole moor?
Yeah, that's a really weird thing to say.
It would also like have presumably been recent enough that the elders lived in that time. Or like it makes it seem like it would be a recent thing that they now have the whole moor.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I
mean,
don't believe
we-
is true.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Even in the dawn of the clans, they still had the whole moor, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's where they
Mhm.
started.
Again, it says tunnels give us an advantage in battle. And again, I don't know how.
Yeah,
Like,
but
how?
how?
Yeah.
What are some examples? When
I
has
guess
that happened?
they're just thinking they can run away, but if there's a battle, all the cats need to be fighting.
Yeah, and then you run
Yeah,
away
also,
into the
like,
tunnel, and
3 of
the
them
enemy
know.
cats see you going. Yeah. Anything else for the chapter?
No. But you did have that note at the end. Okay.
I mean, I already said that.
Well, yeah, they're just two separate clans living as one.
Yeah. How have they stayed together for so many moons? If there's such division.
Yeah, I mean, like, they eat in different spots, sleep in different spots. They don't like each other.
They have totally different skill sets. Yeah. I guess it's possible, because, like, or in earlier times, like, it seemed pretty equal, I guess. And so maybe, like, there weren't all these conflicts. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of struggling to see how it would actually work harmoniously.
Yeah, and what would the real, like, what would have caused the division all of a sudden? Because they had to have been dealing with cave-ins the whole time. Why is it suddenly now gone too far?
Yeah, it's not like there's fewer cats now.
And, like, presumably they would have gotten better at it, so they should be having less cave-ins nowadays than they were when they started doing it and kept doing it.
Yeah.
Alright. I will read the summary. Sandgorse comes home from work. Tallkit gets weaned cruelly and unexpectedly. Tallkit eats Freshkill and talks to Plumclaw and Bartkit.
I just noticed.
I love the
Oh,
part where he
no.
gets weaned.
I just realized that our initials
I mean,
are SEA. See?
yeah, see. Yeah.
Southeast Asia, wow.
Everybody's favorite part.
Alright, sorry, do you want to start with the first cliff note item?
Sure. Sandgorse and a few other tunnelers walk into the camp. Tallkit is happy to see his father.
Sandgorse talks about how he and the other tunnelers are making a tunnel that goes directly into the gorge. Tallkit is proud, until Sandgorse comments that his son might be apprenticed in time to help dig it. This makes Tallkit dread being a tunneler more than ever before.
Sandgorse invites Tallkit to help him get cleaned up. Palebird comes over. Sandgorse asks if she'll be ready to return to her duties when Talcott is apprenticed, but the she-cat replies she might not.
Sandgorse tells Talcott to cheer his mother up. They go into the nursery. Brackenwing asks where her kits are. Talcott wonders if she knows about Bartkit's plans to become a medicine cat.
Talcott tries to get milk from Palebird, but she tells him no. He tries again, but she again says no. Palebird tells him he's old enough to eat prey. Brackenwing offers that her kids have been eating prey and that he'll enjoy it.
Talcott leaves the nursery feeling very sad.
He goes to the fresh kill pile and tries meat for the first time, encouraged by Plumclaw. He asks the she-cat what it was like being a tunneling apprentice, and she explained it was great.
Bartkit comes and says he's gonna be Hawkheart's apprentice.
Bartkit asks Talcott if the latter wants to play rabbit. Talcott says he's not hiding under any more gorse bushes. Bartkit responds that if he steps on another thorn, he would gladly pull it out.
I feel like this could have used some trimming down also. It's like some of the ones in Outcast were like 3 bullet points, I feel like.
Do we really need like Talcott says he's not hiding under any more gorse bushes?
I don't think so.
I also like that Talcott leaves the nursery feeling very sad as his whole own bullet point.
Yeah, no sub-bullet points.
Yeah. My first note is about the tunnel to the gorge. Anything before that?
We just
No.
start with Sandgorse coming back from tunneling. Mud streaked his pelt and his shoulders sagged. So, I wonder if it was a hard day of work. If his shoulders are sagging.
That's the other thing. Like, I bet the tunnelers would get a lot of like overuse injuries.
Yeah, doing the same motion with your paws over and
Yeah.
over that cats are not like meant to do. You're gonna get carpal tunnel.
Yeah. Tunnel. So yeah, I was confused about where the tunnel entrance or like the tunnel exit by the river is. And like what path does it take near the gorge? Does it go like under and then back up? Like does it come out like in the side of the gorge? Is it just like on the ground? I don't really understand.
I don't know, because if it's on the side of the gorge, then once you get out, like there's just water and steep cliff. Like you can't. There's nowhere to stand.
Yeah.
But it seems like that is the thing, though, where it's just like, it's either low enough that it's just in the water, or it's high enough that it's just in the middle of a cliff. It's just,
Yeah.
as if that has no purpose.
Like I guess there's, you know, like maybe there is a little bit of flat ground there, which I guess, but like yeah, why do you really want to go there? Just to get water?
Yeah, where do they get their water? Eating mice, I guess. Eating rabbits. That's not enough water, though.
Yeah, I never really thought about the water issue. I
Dew?
don't really remember
I
if there's
feel like
any streams.
I think they have dew, because they're on the moor. I feel like that's a thing.
Oh yeah,
Okay, yeah.
you could probably like get some moss and then wipe it on the dew, wipe it on the grass.
I guess cats supposedly, like, originate from the desert, so maybe they don't need that much water. But our pet cats seem to drink a lot, but they also have dry food, so.
Your kitty pets.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, in fandom news, actually, I guess this counts as fandom news because we're in the fandom. Our cat George is totally dying.
Yeah.
R.I.P. King.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like 14. He outlived all the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that for fandom news earlier, and I forgot.
Oh, don't forget George. Oh, so I just hate how Sandgorse is like trying to make Talcott help him lick the grit from behind his ears.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird and so gross.
Yeah.
It's so specific.
I know there's something about it that makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's too much. Calm down.
Yeah. I guess for cats, like that would be more normalized. But like, I don't want to help my dad, like perform some like I don't want to clip his toenails or something.
Ew.
Like you can't. Your tongue doesn't reach your like behind your ears. Like I can understand somebody else doing it, but still, yuck.
Yeah.
Also, just like, how much dirt are the tunnelers ingesting
Yeah.
on a regular basis?
Maybe the reason that there are so few of them is because they get worms.
Yeah, I mean, also because they're at the clay now, too, of just like, you can't just eat clay. That's not good.
Kind of breathing. They're like constantly breathing in clay and dirt particles.
Yeah, I don't think that the tunnelers would live long, whether they die in a collapse or not.
Do cats get worms by tunneling? Is that the kind of worms we're talking about?
Worm kit.
It's not because he's a worm, it's because he's infested with them.
Oh no. One day he'll be cleaning the grit from his own ear.
Then Palebird's like, you're getting him dirty. But then Sandgorse is like, he's helping me get cleaned up. He wants to get the grit from behind my ears, don't you, tall kit?
It's just like a really weird bullying power move from his dad.
Yeah.
I can't even think about it.
It's really
So
bad.
And again, the responsibility of cheering up Palebird falls to Tallkit.
like maybe help your own mate get like stop being
Yeah,
depressed.
Shouldn't Sandgorse be doing
Like,
something?
spend some time with her. So then yeah. Oh, so I guess they're talking about like they could run through the tunnels, just the three of them. Which like that does sound kind of nice, like the whole family tunneling together. Until you realize like who is actually in this family, and it actually sounds terrible.
And Sandgorse is the only one
Yep.
suggesting this.
Yeah. Then yeah, Halberd morosely plods back to the nursery to be depressed. And Sandgorse sends him over.
What about your ears? Tallkit says.
I'll wash them myself.
Horrible. I should have done that to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get to the weaning of the milk.
It's just so funny.
It's so strange. Like, he's never eaten a mouse before. He's never like consumed prey before, and just all of a sudden Palebird's like, nope, over it, bye.
Can we read, like, I want to kind of read this whole paragraph or this whole section.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. He scrambled over the edge of the nest and slid in beside Palebird's belly. He was hungry. Palebird pulled away as he nuzzled into her belly. No, Tallkit. Tallkit froze. No? He wriggled closer, closing his eyes and breathing in his mother's tempting, milky scent. Palebird shoved him back with a paw. I said, no, Tallkit. No milk? He stared at her in disbelief. It's drying up, she told him. You're old enough to eat from the prey heap now. So this is just a terrible way to wean. I can't believe Palebird would do this.
Yeah.
It's like, also, isn't he so young? Can he even eat prey yet? Is it safe?
I
don't know.
I think maybe he grew up,
Yeah, there might have been a time skip.
but not a big one because Shrewkit is still only 3 months old, I think. And they were already a lot older than Tallkit.
Google tells me that kittens stop drinking milk around 8 to 12 weeks old.
Nope,
I
he's too
don't think that
young.
he's 8.
It's- No, not at all.
There's no warning, no nothing. Pale Bird's just like, no.
I mean, it's not even really weaning him off of the milk then. It's just, she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just find this whole thing really funny. It's like the tempting milky scent, the way he just like she says no, and then he just like nuzzles closer. The way Halbert says you're old enough to eat to eat from the prey heap, like calling it a prey heap.
How big is it?
I don't think a cat has ever been this depressed before in a Warriors book.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's really a lot.
Like, something's really wrong with Pale Bird. Like, she just doesn't care about
Yeah,
Talkit.
like nobody's doing anything about it. Brackenwing is like kind of trying to help, and that's it.
Right. There needs to be a like not just a medicine cat, but a cat therapist.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's like one big clan, but it can be pretty lonely for like individual cats in the clan. Like, they only might see their families. Like, they go on patrol, so they see other cats, but they're not like, they're maybe not getting the support they need.
Yeah. And yeah, Talcott is really upset and like is in disbelief. No milk at all, he thinks. Which reminds me of a certain grandfather of like 36 from the newspaper.
Oh yeah, I was reading this clip from the agricultural newspaper, and one of the like editorials was this guy who had 36 grandchildren and like 43 great grandchildren, and he was talking about how it's hard to buy milk and there's not milk isn't like readily available and like convenient, even though it's a great drink. It's his favorite drink.
Yeah, this is like a side topic, but it was very funny. He like talked about how you go into like Home Depot or Lowe's, and like there's a little drink cooler at the checkout area, and milk is not an option.
Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, milk goes bad and like soda doesn't, so that's why, but
Yeah. And he mentioned how he was at this large agricultural event, and he went to all the like concession or food stands, and none of them just like had milk as a drink. And he was obviously talking about the farm show, but he didn't say the farm show for some reason.
yeah, but he even used the word complex, which is what
Yeah.
what you call the farm show.
Sure. At that point,
Yeah.
the farm show's known for them.
Yeah, it's not a plain good old cold glass of milk though, which is what this guy wanted.
Yeah.
Whole or chocolate.
He mentioned a couple times like drinking a nice glass of milk before bed, which I don't know.
He said it helps
Drinking a
him
cold glass of milk before bed.
Yeah, I don't know. People say like drink warm milk with honey, that'll make you sleep. But cold just kind of shocks the stomach. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is way off topic. But he eats, what does he eat? Like a mouse? Yeah.
I think it's
Oh.
a
Yeah,
mouse.
and
Yeah.
Pilbert just like she just goes back to sleep. Like how much is she sleeping every day?
Yeah, 16
I think
hours
it's
is
all
normal.
she's doing, really. Yeah, like they don't even attempt to like help him figure out what he's like. He has no idea what he's doing in terms of eating prey, and they have no idea that a cat's just going to be like out there waiting to tell him what to do.
I do wonder if his digestion is gonna get upset because he's never eaten prey before and he's just stopped drinking milk and start eating prey so abruptly.
Yeah, I
Right.
can't imagine that he'll feel great after this.
But Plum Claw's there to help him and suggest trying a mouse first. It's really funny because she says, "Be careful of the bones."
Yeah.
Be sure to blow on it if it's too hot.
So I guess, I mean, he starts eating it. He's not super into it, but he likes it more as he goes on. The description of it just really doesn't make it sound very appealing.
No.
Pungent and warm. The juicy
They talk
meat
about
was
like the flesh
strange,
and the blood. Yeah.
but not horrible.
And then he begins to relish the chewy meat.
So they don't talk about like the other parts of the animal that aren't just the muscle. Like all the guts and fur, the bones, and like the mouth. He's eating like the snout and teeth of this mouse.
Right. Like the muscle, the actual meat part is really not much of it.
Yeah. Plumclaw is eating a bird. She says it's a thrush. And she says, I prefer lapwing, but we only hunt them after the breeding season. So that's kind of interesting. Like I was wondering about that with rabbits sometimes. Like a young rabbit or like a baby rabbit would be a lot easier to catch. But then it's not going to grow up and have more babies. So I guess they are
Right.
somewhat aware of like only catching certain animals or waiting, letting them reproduce.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. I also like an adult cat is like helping him. I feel like we don't see a lot of the older cats help kits that are not their own unless they're also queens in the nursery at the same time. And it's cool that they're just like having a conversation with him and like showing him how to do something and being like nice to this kitten.
Yeah, that is nice.
A rare thing.
And Plumclaw isn't even an elder, right? She's just like a regular cat.
Yeah.
That's nice.
He's a tunneler. And then they just start talking about the tunneling. Which has like that's like all they talk about, it seems.
Yeah, but it's also nice to like actually get some perspective from a cat who doesn't like want something specific for him. Who is also just a tunneler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a kind of cool description. She said, it feels like a secret world. Above me, prey runs, warriors patrol, clouds move over the moor, and no one except my tunnel mates know where we are. So she likes it down there.
Like that description does make it sound nice.
Yeah, and she's not like trying, it doesn't feel like she's trying to, like she's saying that to convince him to like become a tunneler. It's just like, she's just talking about her life.
Yeah, she's just sharing her own experience.
I don't know, I think that I like Plumclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could use more cats like her.
I don't remember anything else that she ever does, but I like this one scene with her.
Yeah.
Bark Kit comes over and says that he's gonna be a medicine cat apprentice.
Yeah. And Plumclaw's like, congratulations. Then, yeah, Tallkit licks blood from his lips. Congratulations.
I also love anytime we get to see a cat want to become a medicine cat and not have to become a medicine cat.
Yeah.
Right. That was also part of the Spotted Leaf post.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he didn't actually want to be a medicine cat from the start, even though, which is a retcon, and she wanted to be a medicine cat because, like, she was so horrified by, like, what warriors could be capable of and be allowed to do or something. She was like, not for me.
Oh.
Which it then kind of ended up being for her. Because, I mean, I presume part of her problem was the grooming situation, and then she sort of fell in love with a child cat. while she was an adult.
Right.
Oh, huh. I never even thought
So
of
she
that.
did sort of continue that line.
Because
Yeah.
Firepaw was like basically a kid,
Yeah, he was like 6 moons old.
even though he was a handsome ginger Tom.
Yep. Problematic. So Bartkit asks if Tallkit wants to play Rabbit, the capital R. I love that it's just called Rabbit.
That was in chapter 2 as well, the first chapter we talked about. I caught it as well, after having read you calling it out. They played Rabbit with a capital R in chapter 2.
As far as I can tell, it's just one cat's a rabbit and another cat tries to catch the rabbit.
Yep.
You could
Just
play
sort
so
of
many
tag.
different things. You could play mouse, vole, mole, shrew, water vole,
Lapwing.
thrush.
Lapwing, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to play Lapwing?
Do you want to play peahen?
Whoa, what if they caught a peahen?
Yeah.
I don't think they live on the moor. But that would be nice feathers to line their nest with.
Yeah, is that like a River Clan thing? Where are the peahens?
Is that in Warriors?
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever heard the word peahen.
Oh, wow. Huh. What are they doing in Warriors? That's so weird.
I mean, it's obviously a pretty rare prey.
I don't think about them running wild in England.
I don't think about them running wild.
They definitely run wild.
Yeah, I've never seen one in the wild.
I only have in, like, Hawaii,
where
it makes a little bit more sense to just see them running around.
Yeah.
So this chapter ends kind of a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really end, it just stops.
That's true.
A lot of chapters end with, like, an introspective question or something. Or whatever Talkit's thinking, but this one just ends with Bartkit saying, if you step on another thorn, I can always pull it out. And they're playing Rabbit.
Yeah. And the next chapter is totally unrelated. It doesn't just flow into the next chapter.
No, I mean, it's just really like a reassurance that Bartkit is Talkit's only friend.
Yeah.
I know I said this last episode, but Talkit's life sucks. It's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
He's so young, and every day, like, such an awful things happen to him.
Yeah, he really persevered. Kind of impressive.
I mean, I guess what else is he gonna do, but...
Or our favorite and least favorite parts of the episode. I think my least favorite is, again, Talkit's parenting.
Yeah, I really hate
Parenting
Sandgorse. Especially.
Yeah, my least favorite part is definitely the discussion about him cleaning his father.
Yeah.
That whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
What's my favorite part, though?
I think my favorite part is easily the weaning.
I don't think I can choose that.
I think that my favorite part is the whole discussion with Plumclaw.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, like, it didn't really serve much purpose, but I don't know. It was some cats being kind to each other.
Yeah, and, like...
It doesn't happen much.
I love pretty much everything to do with prey, and he got to eat prey for the first time.
Is that your selection too, Evelyn?
Yeah, because I can't find anything else that I liked better.
Well, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I'm overall like I actually really enjoyed this book like more than I usually enjoy Warriors books.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like one of the
Yeah,
better or best
one of
ones.
the best ones.
I guess I was kind of surprised by it because the first time I read it, I didn't really feel any particular way about it. But yeah, it's pretty good.
It's definitely been interesting reading the books again from like our adult perspectives. A lot of things I'm finding I have a different experience of.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like how Talca is being parented. Like, there's a lot that I'm sure I didn't pick up on.
Yeah. I know one big thing for me was Brambleclaw. Like, I just look at him now and I have little to no sympathy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brambleclaw sucks.
Also, Spottedly. I didn't have a problem with her when I first read the books. I was just like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Moving on.
same. It went from like
Is she way older?
ambivalence. Right. Went from like ambivalence to annoyance to disgust.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we ready to end?
I believe so.
Yes.
How are we gonna do the outro now with 3 people?
We just all said one of them last time.
Okay, because I mean, in this cat, it's like the little girl on skates says goodbye, and then the man with the cat says goodbye, and then the girl on skates says goodbye. So, like, usually it'd be one of us plays the role of the man with the cat, and the other plays the role of the little girl on skates. But
We could just use it anyway and just have one person say each goodbye.
yeah, or we could all say all of them.
Why don't we do that just to change things up?
Okay.
One.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye! That was terrible.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I guess we'll just do them at different times.
Okay, well that was really bad. Guess it's just gonna be bad then.
Just a mess.